And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at Veritas, a game of truth, books, and chaos. This is a game from Cheapass Games. It's one of their, they've kind of just come out back into publishing games lately, and this is one of their newer ones. This is a game that you are truth in this game. Well, a version of it at least, and you're trying to spread your truth throughout France, which seems really intent on burning every monastery that's full of books of truth that they can find. Really, this is a theme for kind of an abstract game, but up to 6 players can play it. Let me show you how it plays. Here's a map of France. This is where the game is played. This map is separated into 12 regions. You do not have to use all of these regions in a game. If you're playing with 4 players, for example, you'll pick 2 regions that you don't use. If you play with 3 players, you'll pick 3 regions that you don't use. If you play with more, you use all the regions. Now, each of these regions has cities in it, and it also has monasteries. It's really easy to find these monasteries. You just use a letter number notation. If I say 8F, for example, here's region 8, there's monastery F, 8F is there. Each player gets 2 discs that they're going to place. These discs are books in a monastery of their choice. Now, I do need to talk about these discs. The process at Cheapass Games is that you don't need all the components for games, so you provide your own. So they do not provide these pieces in this game. The problem with not having these in this game is you're going to need to stack these discs up, and you're going to need to stack them up pretty high. So if this game is going to work properly, you're going to need about 40 of each color. Well, not everybody has 40 discs laying around, and even the discs that I'm using here, when they get stacked above, let's say 6, they fall over pretty easily. Now, Mr. Ernest has recommended a small set of poker chips that you can get online, and that's all well and good, and they're actually pretty nice little poker chips. The problem is, if you don't have these pieces in your house, and you really need these small poker chips, then these kind of chips should have just been included in the game. It's not like it's a common component that everybody has. But anyway, let's talk a bit more about how the game plays. The game does come with a pile of tiles, which you'll punch out and put in a box like this. Each of these tiles either has the word safe on it or has a corresponding spot on the board, a monastery on the board. So at the beginning of each player's turn, the first thing they do is they draw one of these, and people burn that monastery down. So this one here says 8C, so I look, here's region 8, here's C, and that monastery burns down. Then it's my turn. So let's say that I'm the blue player, and I have 2 actions I can take on my turn. There's 3 different actions that you can take. One action that you can take is copy. I can take any stack where I have a disc in that stack and add one to the top of it. Even if someone else controlled that stack, I could still drop one on top. Whoever has one on the top controls each stack. You can copy twice in your turn if you wanted to. Copy, copy. You can also do a move where you take a stack, you pick up the whole stack as long as you control that stack, and you can start in that location or an adjacent location and then move 1 space at a time, and in each space that you move to, you drop off one of the discs in that stack. So you'll likely be dropping off other people's discs too, but it's a good way to control more of an area and take over. You can move twice. You can copy, move. You can move, copy. So those are the 2 main actions that you'll be taking. Another action that you can take is if you control all the cities in one region. Each region has 1 or 2 cities in it. If you control both the cities, then you can grow. Now, unlike move and copy, grow takes your complete turn, and when you grow, you add 1 book to all the stacks that you control in that region. So if I control this region, I'd add 1, 2, and then a 3rd one here. And so players are trying to expand by copy, moving, and growing. Now, if at the beginning of a turn, somebody draws a tile which burns down a monastery and there happens to be people in that monastery, at that point, whoever was there gets a free move. So this example, blue would get a free move. So maybe blue would do this. He'd go and drop the tiles off like that. You get 1 free move. And then after that, every region on the board is scored. Each region is worth points to the number of that region. So this region is worth 9. To get 9 points in this region, you need to control more than half the remaining monasteries in this region. Now this region started with 9. One of them is burned down, so there's only 8 left. So to control this region, you would need to have at least 5 of them in this region, and no one has 5. Yellow has 2, blue has 3, so no one gets the 9 points here. But if blue did have 5, let's say blue was like this here, then blue would take the 9 points. Down here, there was a 1 tile here where I had there was 2 blues there. Blue controls that one. That's pretty easy. That gives you 1 point. So you can see the smaller regions are easier to control. The larger regions are harder to control, but will give you more points. And they actually get easier to control as the game goes by, because every turn you're drawing and burning a monastery, unless you draw a safe tile, in which case no monastery burns that turn. When the monastery is burned down, the person who moves a stack is the person whose turn it is. So they may not even be involved in that stack. They may just want to cause chaos and destruction. And you continue to do this and play this game until someone reaches 100 points. You keep track of the points in a score track that goes around the outside of the board, and first person 100 points is the winner. I guess I sound like a broken record often in my reviews of Cheapass Games, and the fact that I really wish they would just publish some of these in a nicer format. Like that board, I mean, I would have preferred almost a map than the 2 of these. These slide around a lot, unless you have, maybe some glass that you can put over them to keep them flat. The map itself of France, we were commenting as we played that France is just a great map for board games. The different things going around and controlling, I love the concept of this game. I love picking up a stack and moving it, boom, 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 boom. Has almost a Mancala feel to it. As you drop these stacks around and try to take control. And you can sit in one area and just grow up, and then you can say, I'm going to burst out and just take over everything. But it's very easy for other people to cover you up and for that to come back. There's a very back and forth game, and this is a game that definitely encourages you going after other players. There's no defensive maneuvers. Well, I mean, I guess there is defensive maneuvers, but it doesn't make any sense that you would do such a thing. You sit there and I'm going to control this territory. Well, la-dee-da, I'm going to come in there and take part of that from you while controlling my territory. Very much after each other. Now, obviously, there's going to be some randomosity in how these monasteries burn down, but that's okay. I didn't think it affected the game that much. Okay, let me rephrase that. I think it affects the game a lot, but I don't think it affects the game in an adverse way, where I'm sitting there going, oh, well, I wish they wouldn't have done that. No, it's actually pretty cool. And as you watch France burn to the ground, and as people destroy truth, you fighting over these remaining areas, and the fighting gets more and more interesting. Especially since when a monastery burns down, you skip that spot when connecting cities. And so several spots can let you fly all the way across the map. So there's a lot to like in this game. I think it works better with more players. Maybe 4 or 5 is the sweet spot for it. When I played it with the low number of players, it just wasn't as interesting. 3, it was okay, but I liked it more with more players. The discs fell over a lot, so obviously I need to get better discs for this game if I'm going to keep it. And the theme is kind of just there, but I love the fact that you go after each other, that you're attacking each other the whole game. So that's the kind of thing you're looking for, and the fact that it plays fairly quickly. I'd say an hour or less. Easy to teach, easy to run through, lots of fun. Veritas.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Hi, I'm Patrick, UK Games Expo. Tom Vasel, shut that door.